Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another FIFA 22 video where today we're going to be going back over the 5-2-1-2 formation. I know there's been quite a few people that have been asking for this in videos in the comments. So today we're going to be going back to the 5-2-1-2. I've been using this formation a lot this year, probably the formation I've used the most this year. It just seems to be one of those formations that just clicks with my play style, just the way I like to play in FIFA. If you're someone that likes to play with like really attacking fullbacks and just playing like a fun style of FIFA, this works super well. I seem to have mastered this formation. I've came back to playing a lot of gameplay in the last few days. Probably played like 25 games in sort of the last 3 or 4 days. Before that, I was doing a lot of trading, trying to obviously improve my team. As you see, we've improved it quite a bit, and you know, I've come back to playing games. I don't think I've lost a game in 4 days playing with this formation. Like, it just seems to click, just seems to be having, and I'm having a lot of fun playing with it as well. And I think that's the key. You obviously want to be winning games and all that, but I'm actually having fun. There's only a few things in the game that are a bit frustrating at the moment. Number one thing that I think is the most frustrating is the passing. Even with players like Bellingham, just really simple passes sometimes just going awry, or they just seem to always be getting deflected. So the passing seems to be a bit annoying, but the rest of the gameplay I quite enjoy. And I think it's mainly down to the way I've got this formation set up. So I'm going to start with the instructions. The two strikers up top, obviously we've got Lewandowski and Pele, and both these two are amazing. Lewandowski just occasionally will have this just random, weird shot where he'll just completely miss a chance you expect him to score, but generally he's amazing. I played like 30 games with him now. He's got like 64 goals. He's just so lethal. Obviously he's not super meta because he's not super quick, doesn't have 5-star weak foot, 5-star skills, but he's incredible. But these two up front link up so well. You don't need the fastest players in this formation because of the way that I play it. I don't need like super fast pace. I don't have any pace upgrades for chemistry styles on Pele or Lewandowski. Mainly it's to help sort of their dribbling and shooting, but especially for Pele, for Lewandowski it's something different. But you don't need lots of pace up front. They link up too well. When you got two strikers, you don't generally need lots of pace. Because you've kind of got the numbers to deal with the defenders. So these two on Stay Central, really important because most of the goal scoring is going to be done by them. Then got Cantona in at the cam spot, who kind of come to like Cantona a little bit. At the start of the game, wasn't too keen on him. He just seems to kind of click for me a little bit more recently. I've just been playing a lot better with him. Obviously, on getting to the box and free, really important. This guy links up. Obviously, his general prerogative is to get assists for the front two for Lewandowski and Pele, and he does that very well. Midfielders, we've got Bellingham and Guardiola. Bellingham is just amazing. Obviously, one of the best midfielders in the game. There's no doubt about that. Occasionally, he's just like has the odd game where he's not great, but there's nothing too shady about that. Generally, he is Hullet-esque in that midfield. Guardiola, I'm kind of just using because I packed him, so I thought may as well use him. But definitely going to be upgrading him very soon. But the two midfielders want to be on stay on edge of the box. Mainly their job is to stop counter-attacks and just kind of keep and sustain the attacks. Obviously, with the fullbacks, with the cam, the two strikers, it's generally their job is to be sort of those pivots in midfield and just make sure the attack keeps going, just recycling the ball. But especially Bellingham does get forward and scores a couple of goals as well. But those two are brilliant in midfield. Then we've got the fullbacks. We've got Porro and Cancelo. Both these guys are going to be on balance. Sometimes if I'm playing someone who I know I'm better than, I'll just pause it at the start, very early on in the game and switch these guys to join the attack because I know that they're not going to cause me any trouble defensively. But generally, I'll play with them on balanced attack. And interestingly, I actually prefer this Porro card to Cancelo, which is very bizarre. But I think that just shows you that FIFA is different for all players and the way certain people play. Cancelo especially, I know I mentioned the passing at the start of the game, at the start of the video, and Cancelo is one of those where he's got really good passing, but he just seems to fail with the most basic of passes. I know the passing in general is quite poor, but he's kind of the most profound at it. But I actually prefer Porro. He scores a lot of goals for me, which is quite interesting. Maybe it shows that I attack maybe a little bit more up the right-hand side than I do up the left, because Cancelo hasn't scored yet, and Porro's got 6 goals in like 14 or 15 games recently. So these two guys get forward really well. They support the attack, but they don't ever leave me exposed. Very rarely. I haven't really been ever exposed going, man, my fullbacks are nowhere. They're always in really good positions. They manage to get back into position, and they make it really tough for the opponents to break them down. And then we've got Diaz, Vieira, who I do need to get rid of. He's a little bit outdated, and PK. But the defenders, of course, all going to be on stay back while attacking. And Van der Sar comes for crosses and sweeper keeper. So it's really good, this formation, because I've mastered it to the sense that it's really fun offensively, but I'm never left exposed defensively. I've got a really great balance with this formation. And then going back to the tactics, these are the tactics that I'm using. Now, the defensive style, balanced, I've tried everything with this formation, and balanced is the only one that works. Whenever I try anything else, it does not work at all. It either becomes too defensive or it becomes too open. So sticking to balanced, have to play this way. It's the only way to play with this formation. In terms of the defensive width, I've gone for 45. Just want a little bit narrow because we've already got a back five. We do cover the pitch quite well. So it's mainly just to get the midfield and sort of the strikers a little bit narrow. I'd rather push people out wide than have people go through the middle of the pitch. So I would always recommend having a narrow defensive width than a wider one. In terms of the depth, 60 is the prime number for this formation. Again, I've tried going a little bit lower, which, you know, is kind of unnecessary. I've tried going a bit higher to go to sort of like 70, and that does at that number, you do start having a few more issues defensively. You do start leaving a few more gaps. So 60 is the number that I've enjoyed, and when something's working like it is at the moment, I'm not going to change it because there's no need to change anything. But 60 is a great number. I still have plenty of possession, still always have more possession than my opponent, more passes, more everything. So it's the perfect number to be on. Build-up play, still playing on slow build-up for the build-up. I didn't want to go for long ball. You can use long ball for this formation, but it kind of negates having the fullbacks going forwards because it's just all about then smashing it over the top to the two strikers. And crazily enough, Lewandowski and Pele aren't the quickest because they've only got, I believe, 92, 93 pace, and I don't have chem styles that improve their pace, but I don't think it would work on them anyway. So long ball is not really a necessity in this formation. Slow build-up works. It allows the fullbacks to get forward, and it allows me to build my attacks, and then when we get into the final third, really strike. And that's because we've got the chance creation on direct passing. Now, this is really important because it allows players like Lewandowski, Pele, Cantona, Cancelo and Porro to really make some really good runs, but it still allows me to still have good solidarity in defense. You know, it never leaves me too open. It always gives me plenty of options to score goals, and Lewandowski does score most of my goals. Cantona gets most of the assists, but Porro, interestingly, pops up with quite a lot of assists. But I think generally attacking down the right-hand side for me is a lot stronger than attacking down the left. The only thing that you could potentially change this to is possession. And I really like this possession as well. This is really, really good. If you want to control games and dominate, this is more kind of like the Man City style. If you want to dominate games and just kind of trap your opponents in, then I would change to possession. You might not be quite as clear cut in terms of offensive. You know, you won't maybe create as many chances. You'll still create a lot of chances, but it relies on you being a bit more clinical. If you want more chances, but you want more of an open game, then I'd recommend going to direct passing. When I'm playing someone who I know is very, very good, I'll switch to possession pretty, straight away, 10, 15 minutes into the game, because you get a feel for if someone's good. And if I know someone's bad, then I'll change to direct passing. So it's one thing to change dependent on your opponent. If you said what's better to just have and just stick with the whole game, I'd probably say possession is the better way to go. It's a little bit safer, but it's going to allow you to still create chances and be a bit more solid in defense. Then the offensive width I've got on 100. This is to allow the fullbacks to stay on the touchline, stay wide, and this really is important. You have to play with the width on 100 because it opens up your opponent's back four. It opens up their midfield because they have to drag a midfielder all the way out to the touchline to get close to Porro, and then that's going to leave space in the midfield, and then that's when you can pick them apart, and it leaves gaps in between their fullback and centre backs, and that's when you through balls in between, and then the clinical nature of Pele and Lewandowski allow me to still score loads of goals. So it all intertwines, it all works together really, really well. And I love this formation. For me personally, this is the best formation in the game. I love this formation. I've just got to know it so well. I know it inside and out. And it's just, for me personally, the best formation in the game. I love it, and I can't say enough good things about it. So if you do want to try this out, you won't be disappointed by how good it is. Just give it time, play with it, get to know it, learn it. And this formation, you'll absolutely love it because it is the best formation in the game. That for me, there's no argument. But that is it for today's video, guys. So if you enjoyed, drop a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe as well if you are new to the channel. But that's all for today, guys. Have an awesome day. I'm out.